Woo, it's not looking too good, Clemson. It is not looking too good. What's up, everybody? This is Jan Sports back here again with another video, and let's talk about this Georgia versus Clemson game. This was prime time. We've been waiting for this game for months, and Georgia went in there in Charlotte, North Carolina, where again the Georgia fandom, man, is one of the best, if not the best fandom in the country when it comes to traveling on the road. It felt like a home game for Georgia compared to Clemson. It's in Charlotte. Now, granted, I know Clemson is located in South Carolina, but still, it's very close. So, wow. I mean, just wow. That's all I can say. DJ Uiagalelei had a horrible game, and I'm just gonna say this. This was his third career start. I've watched DJ Uiagalelei since he was at St. John Bosco. He's a very, very talented quarterback at 6'5", 250 pounds. One of the strongest arms you're ever going to see. He had no help. Now, were there times where he held the ball too long? Yes. Were there times when he missed open reads? Yes. But DJ needs help. DJ had no help at all from his offensive line, and this is the same thing that happened with Ohio State versus Clemson last year in the playoffs. Clemson's offensive line got exposed by Ohio State in the playoffs. And again, these are the same offensive linemen. The same thing transitioned against Clemson. Against Georgia. Now, granted, Georgia has a great defense. They've had a great front seven. A lot of the same faces like Jordan Davis and Jordan Davis, Wyatt Davis, Nakobe Dean. I'm trying to think who else. Nolan Smith, Trayvon Walker. A lot of those guys, they've been on the team for 2-3 years now. So we understand Georgia has a great defense, but that's the thing. Clemson struggles against these type of defenses. Against NC States, against Miami's, against North Carolina's, against those type of schools, they don't really struggle that much often. Matter of fact, you see Clemson is way more superior. And granted, Clemson is on the level. They are a top five, if not top 3 team every single year since the Deshaun Watson era. And Clemson is competing in a conference that is nowhere near as good as the SEC, as the Big Ten, as some of the other conferences that has the type of competition that can compete with Clemson on a yearly basis. Alabama has to compete with Georgia, has to compete with A&M, has to compete with LSU or in Florida every single year to try to win that conference, to try to win the SEC. Clemson has no competition. They might have one game. And they might have one game against maybe Boston College or you might have a Syracuse type of scenario where you can just tell they underestimated their opponent and they didn't really properly prepare. But from a talent perspective and from a coaching type of situation, there is no other team in the ACC that can match up with Clemson. So when these matchups happen, when you do have a Clemson versus a Georgia, and you see that the offensive line got exposed once again, this is the result that you're going to get. And we can't blame Clemson's defense because Clemson's defense did their job. Clemson's defense held the team to under 11 points, under 14 points, under 2 touchdowns. Matter of fact, Clemson never even allowed a touchdown. They only allowed 1 field goal. Clemson's defense did their job. It is up to Tony Elliott. It is up to that offensive line. It is up to Dabo Swinney. It is up to even DJ and the rest of those guys to figure out how to put points on the board against the Georgia Bulldogs. Their best chance was when they were in the goal line situation, and they failed to capitalize on the goal line. This team has no answer for their running game. This team has no answer for their offensive line. The only area that they seemed really good in And really, I can't even say it was really good because really it was only one player that showed up for the receiving game, and that was Joseph Ngata. He was the only receiver that showed up for the Clemson Tigers that seemed uncoverable by the Georgia Bulldogs. He was the only person that had any type of viable success to try to get Clemson out of the slump, to try to get this offense out of the slump that it is. But speaking of the running game, because I just talked about that, this just confirmed that Clemson is going to struggle with this particular area. They're going to struggle with this area. Now, granted, the entire season, they should be fine, right? They're going to run the football. LJ Dixon's going to have a pretty good season. But Travis Etienne was that elite guy at the running back position for the last 4 years. Now that you've lost that guy, they did not rely on LJ Dixon. And even on the goal line situation, they did not run the ball one time with LJ Dixon as their main guy. They have no confidence in their offensive line in those particular scenarios, and they have showed that they have no confidence in LJ Dixon to try and punch it in and try to bail your quarterback out in certain situations, because it almost became too predictable where Clemson was going to throw the ball at, where the type of situation where they was going to throw the ball at, or the type of down they were going to throw the ball at, and it was so bad. There were times where Georgia ran cover 0, and they pretty much just sent the dogs right after DJ, and it was working. It was working. It was pressure after pressure after pressure after pressure, and Tony Elliott showed no sign of making an adjustment, of making the right adjustment to try to defend the blitz and give your quarterback the best chance he can give to try to get this team down the right path. Tony Elliott, Dabo Swinney, this Clemson team got out-coached by Kirby Smart and this Georgia Bulldogs defense. Now, I will say this. Georgia's offense needs to get better. Can they run the football? Absolutely, they can run the football. Clemson, just like Georgia, has a tremendous front seven that will stone anybody. But Georgia's offensive... Todd Monken was way too damn conservative tonight. Way too damn conservative, just like kind of how Tony Elliott was. Way too damn conservative with his passing plays. Showed little confidence that JT Daniels could push the ball down the football field. Now, yes, they don't have George Pickens, and George Pickens is by far their best player, but they still have other playmakers that can go on there and make plays. Obviously, we're going to see. Now, again, the good thing is for Georgia is that the rest of their schedule should be it should be pretty easy. They will play nobody else that is as good as Clemson in the entire regular season up until whoever they play against in the SEC championship game, whether if it's LSU, whether if it's A&M, whether if it's Bama, or maybe Auburn. So again, you play UAB. UAB is a really good non-Power 5 team, but that should be a game where it's another good test against a pretty good solid defense, but we should be able to see a more aggressive type of play calling from Todd Monken compared to what we saw tonight, because tonight was way too damn conservative. In order for Georgia to get to where they're going, because they got the talent, they've shown that they've got the talent and maybe a world-class defense. At this point, it's up to the passing attack. It's up to this offense in order for the Georgia Bulldogs to get to where they want to be. Because right now, Bama is literally in your way. And if you want to get past Alabama, you can't just have a defense and a running game in order for you to win. You need play calling has held back Georgia from beating Alabama really for the last 3 to 4 years. So it will be very interesting to see what Todd Monken does the entire season, especially when you play the South Carolinas, the Floridas, the Auburns of the world, better teams that have, their defenses are not better than Clemson, but still, for the most part, they have pretty manageable, solid defenses, at least on paper right now. So I'm very interested to see how JT Daniels will progress, how these receivers progress, and most importantly, how this play calling will continue to progress and develop under the Kirby Smart regime. But anyway, guys, let me know how you guys feel about this game. Do you feel like Clemson's chances of the playoffs are finished? Do you feel like Georgia's now the national championship favorite? Let me know. We can definitely hash it up in the comments. But anyway, Jan Sports, and I will catch you guys in a little bit. Peace.